That is very Grey's Anatomy. This is a 5-star book. The last 10%, are you joking? Welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Maisie and this weekend I am doing a 24-hour readathon. It seemed like the perfect time to do it because Ollie's away for the weekend. It's getting pretty cold outside, so reading for 24 hours seems like a pretty good way to spend my weekend. I'm also very behind on my Goodreads goal. I think I'm like 6 books behind, so hopefully also I can use this weekend to catch up a little bit on that goal. Now, I am going to be doing the timer method, so I'm going to be doing it over the whole weekend, because while it is fun doing it straight, it's not good for my mental well-being, and I have to get up and go to work on Monday, so we're not going to do that. We're going to do the timer method. I'm going to start it this evening, so today is Friday. I'm going to start the timer this evening and we will do it over Friday, Saturday and Sunday. I have been thinking about what books I want to read, so I think one book I definitely want to get to is Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez on Kindle. I also want to read The Last Word on Kindle because this is a thriller, and I just think that reading thrillers in these challenges, because they're so easy to read compared to romance and fantasy. I don't know why that is. Like, romance is obviously really easy to read, but I don't like reading loads of romance back to back, so we're gonna have that in there to break it up. I would also like to read A Crown This Cold and Heavy by Stacey Stark. This is the 3rd book in the Kingdom of Lies series. Sorry if the light keeps changing, by the way. We are using natural light and I can't control it, unfortunately. So yeah, this is book 3 in the Kingdom of Lies series, a romantasy series by Stacey Stark. It's a 4-book series, so I'd like to maybe just get this one read in this video. And then I have 4 other books that I would like to get to. Obviously, I'm not going to get to all 4 of these, plus those 3 I've already spoken about, but these are the other ones that I'm choosing between, and then over the weekend I will just mood read between them. So, Love Unwritten by Lauren Asher. This is on my TBR for this month. I do want to get this read, and I do find Lauren Asher books really easy to fly through, but it is quite long, so I don't know. We will see. This is a maybe if I'm in the mood to read another romance after Yours Truly. House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J Maas. This is the 1st book in the Crescent City series. I've been putting off reading this series all year, to be honest. I finished Throne of Glass at the start of this year and meant to kind of go straight into Crescent City. We're now in September and I still haven't, and 2 of my best friends are now reading this book. They both read ACOTAR, not Throne of Glass, and they're now reading this, and I feel like I'm missing out. It feels weird that they're reading it and I haven't read it yet, so I would kind of like to start this, but then is a 24-hour readathon the right time to read this? I don't know. So if I don't start it this weekend, I will definitely start it next week. So we will just see how I feel. Another option is The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. I am desperate to read this book, and to be honest, this is probably one out of all of them that I am most desperate to read. However, I know it's really sad and I'm going to be on my own all weekend, and I don't know if I want to deal with that emotional trauma on my own. So I don't know. This is a maybe. We will see. And then the other one is When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. You guys have been telling me to read this book. I'm a little bit scared by some things that I've seen. Some people absolutely love this book, but some people have said it's really hard to follow and get into, and that scares me. It is on my TBR for this month and on my general fall TBR, so it would be really good if I could get to this, but we will see. So yeah, that is my preliminary TBR for this video. We will see if we stick to it, if we veer off other books. We will see how many books I read. Would it be smarter to just choose loads of short books so I could just fly through loads of them? Maybe, but these are the ones that are at the top of my list, so we will see how we go. I've just been waiting for Ollie to leave and he has finally left. That sounds mean. I just was waiting for him to leave so that I could start this. So it's now 20 to 6 and I'm going to start the timer. I've decided I'm going to start with Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. So obviously I don't have that long to read tonight, but I would like to try and finish this book tonight. I don't know if that's a bit over ambitious. Well, no, you're right in the front of the camera. So we will just see, I guess. I am going to be pausing the timer whenever I'm not reading. So whenever I'm eating, doing anything else, I won't be playing the timer. Start the timer. Have I done it? Yeah. Straight away, this is giving me Grey's Anatomy vibes. I am a big Grey's Anatomy fan, so I am loving that. The nurses are calling him Dr. Death. That is very Grey's Anatomy. workday, so they're going to be competing for the same promotion, I think. Okay, I've got changed into my comfy clothes because who was I kidding? I am not going to sit on the sofa in my jeans. Just under an hour in, I think. I don't know why I said I think. I can literally see the time. I am under an hour in. But I have got to page 77 of Yours Truly, which is 18% in, and I am loving this so far. So we have our two main characters, Brianna and Jacob, and they are both ER doctors working at the same hospital. So Brianna has worked there for a long time. Jacob has just transferred from his old hospital where he was the head of ER to this hospital that Brianna works at. Got off to a little bit of a rocky start, but now they're writing letters to each other and I am loving the letters. I'm also really liking Jacob, and I had heard that this book has really good anxiety representation in it, and I am definitely enjoying that, especially from a male character. I'm just really enjoying it. I like both our characters. I can't believe that I wasn't going to read this book. Like, why was I not going to read it? I've really enjoyed all of the Abby Jimenez books that I've ever read, and I was just going to go straight from Part of Your World to Just for the Summer? Am I okay? It's a hospital romance. I love hospital dramas, TV shows and stuff, and also it's just so good. I can't believe I nearly missed out on this. Anyway, I am going to take a quick break now because I'm actually going to go and get some dinner, because all I've eaten today is a cereal bar and I am hungry, so I'm going to go and do that. And I'm probably going to watch an episode of The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives while I eat my dinner, because is anybody else like me and you have to watch something while you eat your dinner? It's probably an unhealthy habit, but I have to do it, so that's what I'm going to do. I am going to limit myself to just one episode though, okay? I started watching it yesterday. I've seen now the first 4 episodes. Oh, it's so good. It's so good, but I'm really going to have to space it out this weekend because I've got a lot of reading to do, obviously. So yeah, that is the plan. I'm gonna go get dinner, eat, and then I'll get back to reading a little bit later on. But I'm feeling good about the fact that I could finish this book this evening. I'm really enjoying my time reading it, and it's quite quick to read. So yeah, anyway, I will check in with you in a bit. Me, why are you always right on the camera? You gotta be the star of the show. Come here. Okay, as you can see, wow, this is humbling. Willow, why? As you can see, I am ready for bed. Currently 11:30. I have 20 hours and 19 minutes left on the timer, which means I must have read for like 3 hours and 40 minutes so far, right? Is that maths right? I think so. This lighting's not good, I should stay here. We are up to 67% or page 275. I'm gonna try and get it finished. An hour and 44 minutes left. So we're just gonna see. If I'm too tired and I need to sleep, I'll fall asleep. But I would really like to try and get it finished. I don't really have anything else to say, so let's restart this timer. It's been so long since I've read a good fake dating book, and I am loving this. It is so wholesome. Jacob is so wholesome. The book is so wholesome. I think the rumours might have been true, guys. I think this book might be amazing. killing me. Okay, I've just finished and it's, well, 1:15 and we have just under 19 hours left on the timer, so it took me just over 5 hours. I got to around the 90% mark and I was thinking, this is a 5-star book, isn't it? Like, this is a 5-star. And then the last 10% happened and I just wish that that 10% didn't happen. It really annoyed me. Now I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know. I'm gonna probably settle on a rating tomorrow. For now, I'm just gonna go to bed. And then we will start a new book in the morning, I guess. If you've read this book and you know what I'm talking about and you feel the same, please tell me, because I don't feel like I've seen anybody talk about this and that's just really annoyed me. After everything that we went through, all of the conversations, and then that happened in the last 10%. Are you joking? No, because why am I actually really annoyed? It's just a book, Maisie. It's not that deep. Get over it. Right, I'm going to bed. Bye. Hello, good morning. Welcome to day 2 of this 24-hour readathon. The plan is for today to be like my biggest day of reading. Like, I need to get a lot of reading done today. It is currently 11:45. I have done some jobs this morning. I've walked the dogs, got ready for the day, cleared the house up a bit, so I'm ready to now sit and read. I do think F1 qualifying is on very soon though. If so, I might have to put that on in the background because I don't really want to delay reading anymore. Okay, it's on at 1 PM, so I'll probably have that on in the background when it's on. The race is actually tomorrow, so I need to think about that tomorrow because I will probably want to be watching the race as well. Anyway, so obviously yesterday we read the entirety of Yours Truly. It took me just over 5 hours. We have 18 hours 53 minutes left on the clock. I feel like I'm happy with how long it took me to read that book. It's just over 400 pages, so around 5 hours, that's pretty good for me. I think I said last night that I was absolutely loving the book. I thought it was a 5 stars all the way up until the 90% point, and then that last 10%, just the direction it went in and what happened didn't sit well with me. Like, I didn't like it. That's so annoying. Like, I wish the book had just ended at that 90% point. Like, I don't think that we needed that last 10%, and personally I didn't like it and it almost like ruined the book for me. This jumper is massive. This is from Ellen Catherine's collaboration with Literature Stitches. She did a few different designs and they're all gorgeous, so go and check them out if you haven't already, especially if you're from the UK because the company is UK based. Yeah, so this is the romance reader one. I got it in like a 2XL, maybe even bigger, I can't remember, so it's absolutely massive, but I obviously just wanted it to be really big and comfy, especially now that it's getting a bit colder, and let me tell you, it is getting colder. Back to Yours Truly. I think I am going to settle on a 4.5 stars. I don't really want to bump it down any lower because I literally loved the whole book except that last 10%, and it would have been a 5 stars if it didn't have that. And I've really been struggling with 5 stars recently, especially romance. Like, I just haven't really found any romance books that have given me that feeling, so I'm actually so sad that that happened. Anyway, enough about that because I feel like I've rambled on about it for a long time. I do recommend the book if you've not read it. I love the representation of social anxiety from our male main character. I loved the like fake dating trope, the workplace romance, the hospital setting. I did really enjoy, so I do recommend. So I think the first book that I'm going to dive into today is going to be A Crown This Cold and Heavy by Stasia Stark. This is book 3 in the Kingdom of Lies series. It is a goal of mine to get this series finished sometime very soon. I'm hoping it's going to be quite quick to read. The font is pretty big. Obviously, I was just reading on my Kindle yesterday and I love reading on my Kindle and it's way quicker to read on my Kindle, so I'll probably go through a book on Kindle after this. With that said, I'm gonna go and make myself a matcha and then we're gonna get reading.
Love like wildfire was your entire world until I stood alone in a storm. You took the sunshine, the flames are gone now, and I watched you walk straight out of that door. Promises got lost in the dust. Your boots by the door, you're not coming home. Love like wildfire, I was your entire world until I wasn't anymore.
Okay, I just took a quick break to watch the end of qualifying. Charles is P1 and I had some toast for lunch And now I'm gonna get back to reading. I have made it to page 100. The timer is currently sitting at 17 hours and 30 minutes. So I think I've read for about an hour and 20 minutes today. So I'm gonna try and just have a really good session, get further into this book. I probably need to take the dogs out again in a little bit. Oh, speaking of dogs, I need to let one of them in from the garden. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I'm probably gonna have to walk the dogs again in a little bit. This book is actually on Spotify, so I could listen to a little bit if I want to while I'm walking dogs, clearing up, making dinner, stuff like that. So I may do that, we will see. Because I really do want to make sure that I get through this book and then start another book later on this evening. Hopefully, that's the plan. Again, if I was reading on my Kindle, it would be great because it would tell me how long it's going to take me to finish the book. I have literally no idea. I mean, I could probably work it out. I'm enjoying this book, by the way. I just think the writing is so easy. Very much reminds me of Braven Kennedy's writing and the Plated Prisoner series in terms of just how quick and easy it is to read for a fantasy book. We're also getting so many POVs now, and I'm enjoying it because we've got people off doing different things and it's nice to like check in with all of them. I think that's why this series gives me some like Throne of Glass vibes, because you've got people off doing little different bits, but it all comes together and I like that. Let's restart the timer. I really want to have a cup of tea, but I'm not allowing myself to until I've finished one of these. Start the timer, 17 and a half hours on. Right now because just sit down nicely. She's just scratched my, I don't know if you can see, she's just fully made claw marks in my book. Willow. I actually love the Queen's chapters, like her POV is so good, I love it. There's a side romance that we're like starting to get and I'm obsessed. I swear she is determined to be in every clip that I film this video. We are making some progress. It is 5:45, so it's actually quite late. I have just under 15 hours left on the timer and I am up to page 302, chapter 18. I have taken the dogs on a walk. I actually listened to a little bit of the audiobook while I took the dogs on the walk, and I've put some washing on, done some little jobs that I needed to do. Now I am back reading, and I guess I'll just sit and read for like another hour now, and then I'll make dinner and I'll have a little break like I did yesterday when I'm eating dinner, but it's good progress. I definitely want to make sure that I get the timer definitely below 10 hours today. In fact, yeah, definitely, because today's supposed to be my longest reading day. And it started on, what did it start, about 19 hours? So yeah, I would like to get it down to maybe like 9 or 8 hours. But yeah, I'm loving this book. I have about 220 pages left to read of it, so I won't be finishing it until after dinner, definitely. But I'm really enjoying it. I literally love all of our characters, and every POV that we get I love, and that's very rare because I feel like in most fantasy books there's often a POV that you get that you're just like, I would rather be hearing from another character. But honestly, I'm loving all of the POVs, and yeah, it's just so good. I'm absolutely loving it. Is now 10 p.m. and the timer is at 12 hours and 13 minutes, so we are nearly halfway through this challenge. We are basically halfway through. I really enjoyed this. What to rate it. There were some points where I was thinking I think this could be a 5 stars, but other points where it wasn't a 5 stars. I think it's probably going to be 4.5 stars. It's very close to being a 5 stars, but it wasn't completely perfect. Yeah, I think I'm going to go 4.5 stars. I'm actually probably going to just take a little break now before I start a new book, because I just need a minute before I dive into a new book. And I'm gonna have a cup of tea, I'm gonna get ready for bed, wash my face, brush my teeth, all of that stuff, and then I will start reading another book. And I think I'm gonna go for The Last Word by Taylor Adams because I've got it on Kindle, so I just feel like it would be a good book to start, and I'll probably try and get another couple of hours reading done tonight. As I said, I really want to get this timer below 10 hours. Yeah, that's the plan. I'm hoping it's not too creepy of a thriller because, as I've said, I'm home alone and I don't want to be scared. It is nearly midnight. I started The Last Word. I'm like 13% through. This is a little bit creepy, I'm not gonna lie. Basically, we are following our female main character who reads a horror book, and it's a bad book, so she leaves a bad review, and the author comments on her review asking her to remove it, and she refuses to remove the comment. She's house sitting at this like remote house on the beach, and she thinks that there's someone in the house with her, and I'm a bit worried this is going to give me nightmares because I actually do get some like weird night terrors kind of sometimes. I don't know, they're weird, and actually recently they've been very fantasy inspired, like dwarves and wild boars. I swear I'm not crazy. Anyway, yeah, so I'm not really sure it's the best book to be reading, but at the same time I wanted to just read a quick easy thriller. Maybe I should have just gone for one of Frida McFadden's books. But we're here now, I've started, and I feel like I'm committed to it. To be honest, I'm not actually loving it so far. Anyway, I want to try and get some more reading done because I still have 11.5 hours left on the timer. I don't know how I've not read more today. Like, how has the timer not gone down more? I feel like I've literally spent all day reading. I wanted to be able to finish this before Ollie gets home from his weekend away. But now I just don't know how I'm going to manage to do that because I've got 11.5 hours left. I want to get a decent night's sleep, and I do need to pop to the shops tomorrow because we have no food, and obviously shops close early on Sundays. How am I going to make this work? But I also don't want to keep reading this book really late because I think it's going to impact my sleep. So I'm in a bit of a predicament and I don't know what to do. What should I do? I'm going to try and just read this for a little bit longer, but I'm probably not going to stay up that late. To be honest, I have myself to blame because I actually ended up watching 2 episodes of The Secret Lives of Mormons this evening. It's just so good, I'm addicted. Hello, good morning. It's 10 AM on Sunday morning, and I still have just over 9 hours left on the timer. I ended up staying up till about 1 AM last night. Honestly, it was a nightmare. I was worried about reading this, so I started trying to read When the Moon Hatched. But as I said before, for some reason the Kindle version is really messed up and it just keeps taking me back to the contents page. And I didn't want to start reading the hardback. I actually then managed to start it on my phone, and then I switched to Kindle and it was working once I got to like chapter 2. But I literally think I only read the first 2 chapters, and then I was like, my brain is too tired for this, I'm going to sleep, because that book is so complicated. There's so many names of things and I'm just finding it hard to follow. So when I woke up this morning, I decided to go back to The Last Word. I am now about 50% through. Honestly, I'm still really not enjoying it. I've committed to reading it now, so I'm gonna finish it. I actually think I'm going to listen to the audiobook for a bit because I'm gonna take the dogs on a walk. I need to go to the shop as well to pick up some food for dinner tonight. Yes, I'm just gonna listen to the audiobook for a bit while I do some jobs. It says I have just under 5 hours left of the audiobook, but that I assume that's normal speed and I'm listening to it on 2 times speed. So hopefully it's actually more like 2.5 hours. And then I think I'll probably try and go back into When the Moon Hatched if I can get into it. We'll see. The F1 is on today and Charles is starting on pole. That's on at 12. I am gonna have that on. So I'll probably just have that on in the background, I guess, while I read. But trying to read When the Moon Hatched with that on in the background is just not going to be good. I was struggling to understand When the Moon Hatched when it had my full attention. I'd really hoped that the timer would be lower by now, to be honest, but it is what it is. We're gonna roll with it, and yeah, I'm going to start implementing the use of audiobooks because otherwise I'm just struggling. Okay, I have just finished The Last Word. Honestly, I'm giving it 2 stars. I really didn't like it. I also found it really predictable and just boring. It just wasn't for me, okay? I'm not like a massive thriller person, but I do normally quite enjoy reading them. I just didn't enjoy reading this at all. I just wanted it to be over. I'm so glad that it is over. Yeah, 2 stars. It was like a fun plot idea, but the plot twists weren't really plot twisting for me. I wasn't really gelling with the writing and the pacing. I don't know, it just wasn't for me, and that's fine. I know that lots of other people have enjoyed it, so if it sounds good to you, maybe give it a go. It just wasn't for me. We have done that with 7 hours and 17 minutes left on the timer. I currently have the F1 on, by the way. I try and get back into When the Moon Hatched. As I said, I literally read the prologue and the first 2 chapters, so I've hardly read any of it, but I feel like that's what I should read because I do really want to get to something from this month's TBR. So I have that, or I have The Nightingale, which I could read, but I just don't know if The Nightingale is a book that I want to like force myself to binge. I don't know. A Touch of Gold and Madness, that's on my TBR, but I had a look at that last night on Kindle actually, and there's loads of like glossary terms at the front of the book, and that kind of put me off. And also that's annoying when you're reading on Kindle because you can't just flick back all the time. So I think I'm gonna try When the Moon Hatched, but I'm a bit worried because I'm kind of like watching the F1 while reading, and I feel like it's a complex book. Whatever, anyway. I think that's what I'm gonna try and do. I'm gonna try and read some more of When the Moon Hatched. Maybe it was just because I was tired last night, and if I try to read it now, it'll be okay. But let me just show you what's annoying about this. So this is where I am, right? Chapter 3, 5% in. If I press that button to like go to the page before, oh no, it did actually work. No, normally it takes me back to the contents page. Whatever, for some reason it decided to work right then. So I am on chapter 3, page 23. It's not that I don't want to read, it's more the fact that I don't want to read for another 7 hours. So I don't know, I might have a quick break from reading actually. I just enjoy a bit of this, and then we'll get back into this. Honestly, I've never felt more dumb reading a book. I have no idea what's going on. I don't know who anyone is. Like, I don't even know if she's talking about a person or a dragon. I'm hoping that I get more into it and it becomes clearer, but I'm struggling at the moment. I don't know if this book is going to be for me, but I'm going to push through, read a bit more and see how we go. In fact, I think I'm going to put some brown noise on and see if that helps me concentrate. Maybe, should I try reading the physical book? Maybe I will. Okay, I've made it to page 78. I'm still kind of confused, but I kind of have a little grasp what's happening, kind of. Our main character works for a rebellion, and she's basically an assassin working for this rebellion, and she has her own plans that she wants to go and do, but that doesn't align with what this rebellion person wants her to do. Other than that, I'm not really sure if anything is happening. We know that there's a bounty hunter that's after her. It's definitely still quite confusing. There is a big glossary at the back of this book, and I keep having to turn back to that to check what things mean. It's basically like learning a new language as you're reading this book, so it's definitely taking me a while. It's okay. I'm not hating it, but I'm also definitely not loving it. As I said, nothing's really happening at the moment. I just wish that it wasn't made so complicated. We will see. I'm assuming it will get easier to follow as I get further into it. We're still obviously basically right at the start of this book. Still got 5 hours and 50 minutes left on the clock. It's about 3:15. I really thought I'd been reading for longer than I have. Time is going slowly. Okay, we've made a bit of progress. I've been listening to the audiobook while I've been running around, tidying up, doing some other things before Ollie gets back. and we are now up to page 179, and the timer is at 3 hours and 32 minutes. It's currently 6 p.m. To be honest, I'm now thinking I may end up not finishing these hours tonight and have to finish them tomorrow after work, because obviously when Ollie gets home, I'm not just going to ignore him and read. I will obviously spend some time with him. And yeah, I'm thinking I'll definitely do some more reading this evening after he gets home. He's due back in like the next half an hour, 20 minutes. I've been enjoying the audiobook actually. It's quite a good audiobook, but I will say, like, I am still confused. I'm finding it hard to follow. The way that the author has done it is obviously had the glossary that I've spoken about, and it's a really long glossary. I think because the book has that glossary, as things are spoken about in the book, they're not necessarily explained because you can go to the glossary and have a look. It makes it, one, slower to read because I'm like having to flick forward and back, and two, like, I just don't want to be going to the glossary every 2 seconds. I don't know if it's making it seem more complicated because it's done that way rather than explaining things as we come across them. Sorry about the weird lighting and position. I'm literally just about to head out to work, but I wanted to just let you know that I finished yesterday with 2 hours on the timer, so we will be finishing that today. I'm probably going to listen to a bit of the audiobook on my way to and back from the office, and that should be about an hour, and then I will do another hour of reading later this evening. I am up to page 255 of When the Moon Hatched, chapter 40, so I'm very nearly at 50%. I'm enjoying it more now. We are seeing more of the romance now, which I'm enjoying. I'd say it's still quite slow moving, but I am enjoying it more. We will see how we go. Yeah, that's the update. Right, I've got to go. Hello, I'm just jumping on here to end this vlog. I finished the timer today when I got back from work. I had like an hour left when I got home because I listened to about an hour via audio on my commute to and back from work, and then I just finished off the hour reading, but I didn't film anything. So I have ended up getting to page 350 of When the Moon Hatched. I think it's like, I think I must be around 60% through. My thoughts for now on this book are, there are some parts of it that I really like where I'm really into it, and then again I get a little bit bored and like put off. Like, I think it's quite slow moving, like not that much is happening. It's like I'm not really loving the pacing, and also it is still a lot, like there's a lot going on in terms of like, there's lots of different people, there's lots of history, there's lots of creatures. Oops. So I don't know how I'm feeling about it. I think it's probably going to end up somewhere around a 3-star, maybe 3.5 star. We will see. I will obviously share my full thoughts in my wrap up at the end of this month. I'll obviously share my full thoughts in the wrap up at the end of this month, so you can wait to see that, or you can follow me on Goodreads if you want to see my rating before that. But yeah, that is that. So in this 24 hours we've read 3.5 books, which isn't great to be honest. Like, I really wanted to read at least 4 books, but this book really slowed me down. In fact, so did The Last Word. It didn't take me that long to read that book, but I think that it just started to put me in a little bit of like a mini slump. I'm definitely not in a slump. I'm really excited to pick up books and keep reading, but I didn't enjoy my time reading The Last Word, which is a shame. So let's just recap on what we read. So the first book that I read was Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. I really enjoyed this. As I said, most of the way through, it was a 5-star book for me, and then the last 10%, I just didn't like what happened. I didn't like the direction that the book went in. I didn't like the conflict that arose. I just felt like we didn't need that last 10%, and I was really happy with it before then. So I have settled on a 4.5 stars because it was mostly a 5 stars, but I can't give it a 5 stars because that last 10% did happen and was part of the book. So that was the first book we read. The second book that we read was A Crown This Cold and Heavy by Stasia Stark. This is the third book in the Kingdom of Lies series. Again, this one I had many 5-star feelings throughout when I was reading it, but again I did settle on a 4.5 stars just because I think overall it maybe wasn't quite a 5 stars, but this is the one that I'm really thinking about and wondering whether I will bump it up. I don't know. I loved all of the like characters that we got to see more of in this book that we hadn't seen as much of in the first 2 books, and especially some of the romances that are going on there. One in particular absolutely loved, so I really enjoyed this book. I'm giving it 4.5 stars for now. If I could be really specific, I would give it 4.75 stars, but I'm trying not to do that too much because it like just gets a bit ridiculous. But I think 4.5 stars is what I'm settling on. Then I read The Last Word by Taylor Adams. Yeah, I didn't really like this, gave it 2 stars. Yeah, it just wasn't really for me. And then obviously now we are reading When the Moon Hatched, which is quite a slow read. Like, it's taken me quite a long time to get through this. Can't remember how long I had on the timer when I started this book, but we are only 350 pages in. She's a chunky book, so I've still got a way to go, but I'm hoping to finish this before too long so I can jump into some other books and film some more reading vlogs for you guys. So thank you so much for watching. If you've watched to the end, I hope that you have enjoyed. Please don't forget to leave a comment, like and subscribe if you haven't already. I would love to see you in my next video. Bye!